These kind of things motivate me a lot. You know, you already know that history when I'm mad.
Canelo Alvarez gave Edgar Berlanga a brutal KO warning ahead of the fight, and boxing pros have revealed their favorite pick. Meanwhile, Edgar Berlanga seems adamant at defeating the Mexican champion Canelo Alvarez and declared that Canelo's time is over and the sport needs a new face now.
I feel like right now, is my time. Everything is destined for me. You know what I'm saying? For this moment, the opportunity that I got, the time and everything, I'm destined right now to make history September 14th and to become a legend that day. You know what I'm saying? And to take over the sport of boxing and become the face. I feel like, he did what he had to do in the sport of boxing. He's a legend. But I think right now is my time. I feel like right now is our time to come over and just take over. And he's a new face at 168. You know what I'm saying?
The Puerto Rican challenger Berlanga has assured that he will knock out the Mexican champion to strip him of his super middleweight titles. He already warned that he will knock out Canelo in just 6 rounds, but he has escalated his position, as Edgar now claimed that his goal is to retire Canelo from boxing. I want to retire him for good, no doubt. That's my goal. I'm not trying to sit here and disrespect him or anything like that. He's a legend, but at the end of the day, we have to fight. Berlanga seriously doubts Canelo's claims of knocking him out because he hasn't done that for his previous fights.
But at the end of the day, we got to go in there, we got to fight, and we got to tussle, and we got to do what we got to do, you know what I'm saying? So, like what he said something, he said, oh, every fighter wants to knock out. Yeah, everybody wants to knock out. But are you going to deliver it or not? You know what I'm saying? He's been saying his last 3-4 fights that he's going to knock somebody out in the 7th round or the 8th round, and he never did that. I feel like right now, just the sport of boxing needs a new face.
Berlanga respected Canelo for giving him the opportunity of a lifetime to fight a legend like him. Edgar considers himself the chosen one, and he was thankful of Alvarez and his team for not bypassing him as a challenger. Eddie Hearn praised Canelo Alvarez for agreeing to fight Edgar Berlanga and said that Berlanga would step into the ring aiming to win. He pointed out that Berlanga has a simple, aggressive fighting style, always looking for a knockout rather than just trying to last the fight. He also hyped up the Puerto Rico versus Mexico rivalry, highlighting how important the fight is and how exciting it will be for boxing fans.
And yes, it is Puerto Rico against Mexico, but it's deeper than that. This is an opportunity of a lifetime for Edgar and his father. He's dedicated his life to the sport, and I promise you, he will give every inch of his soul in Las Vegas. Tom is right, this is going to be a wild week. Canelo Alvarez weeks always are. Incredible scenes, but remember one thing, this guy is here to fight. This guy is here to dethrone the king.
Hearn compared Berlanga's power to Canelo's, saying both are known for their hard-hitting, knockout-seeking approaches. Eddie also believes that his man, Edgar Berlanga, will give a hard time to Canelo Alvarez. Edgar respects him. He knows how great Canelo is, but he believes he's going to win, and he's an underdog. I'll tell you what, he'll have a right go, and it's a dangerous fight for Canelo Alvarez, and I'm looking forward to it. Meanwhile, Edgar Berlanga unleashes rage on Canelo Alvarez ahead of their highly anticipated bout.
So what's the difference here? It's now he's super.
On the other hand, Canelo Alvarez fired back at Edgar Berlanga for his disrespect and gave him a brutal warning. He said that a new type of monster will come to life on September 14th.
It's other Canelo when somebody talks shit about him. It's other Canelo there, and you will see September 14th is gonna be a different Canelo there. In my mind, is just try to kill him, and just wake up that monster of Canelo.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Berlanga responded to Canelo's absurd warnings by saying that his jab is enough to dethrone the king. Edgar said, "This is going to be our breadwinner. The jab right here. To land a big punch, you got to set it up. Guys like him at that level, you can't go out there and just try to throw bombs. He's going to see it. He's going to execute on that. So it's about setting up, being smart in that ring, and having good discipline." Canelo said that he will not let Berlanga move past 7 or 8 rounds, and he will make him feel the pain.
I'm gonna feel pain. I'm gonna feel him pain. Let him feel pain for 7, 8 rounds, and that's it. And that's it. Kamaru.
Edgar Berlanga claimed that he is serious in giving Canelo hell to remember. Canelo goes off respect too. If I'm over here pity-patting him, he's going to walk right through. I'm coming to fight, man. This is balls to the walls for me. This is the opportunity of a lifetime that I have to grasp towards. Meanwhile, Edgar Berlanga said that Canelo is not perfect, given his previous mistakes. He's a legend. He's been in there with the best. So we have to minimize our mistakes. Legends make mistakes too. He can't slip up either. either. I'm dangerous. Just like he's dangerous, I'm dangerous too. But with us, we're minimizing a lot of mistakes that could happen September 14th, where he could try to execute on it, and we have to limit those open doors and keep them shut. At the end of the day, he's been in there with the best, you know. Legendary boxing trainer Teddy Atlas said that he's sharing his honest opinion on the fight. He thinks that he wasn't surprised when the fight was announced, and he believes that Berlanga is a young and talented fighter with an undefeated record, but also said that Berlanga is a little inexperienced at this level.
Who he wants to fight. In Berlanga, I wasn't surprised. No, I'll be honest. I wasn't surprised at all. I figured he was the front runner. He's got an undefeated record. He's coming off a good win. You know, he's a young, talented fighter, but he's an inexperienced fighter at this level.
Atlas further claimed that Canelo is the type of guy who can handpick his opponents, and that is why he chose Berlanga, because he thinks he can beat Edgar. Terence Crawford already shared his verdict on the upcoming clash between Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez. He said that Canelo will win as he thinks Canelo is more experienced. He also praised Berlanga and said that he can do better in the future, but right now Canelo is too much for him. I think Alvarez stops Berlanga. I think Berlanga is head over heels with this fight. I think Berlanga can be a great champion someday. I just think right now Canelo is just too much for him. Steven Espinoza, on the other hand, said that Edgar Berlanga will be a tough challenge for Canelo. Espinoza said, both fighters showed some spark, some fire, some emotion, and clearly there was a sense that Berlanga is not a guy who is just there to show up, that he's motivated, that he's not intimidated, and all of that really helps because when you have a guy as experienced and accomplished as Canelo, one of your big challenges is to convince people that his fights will be competitive. Edgar Berlanga seemed absolutely fired up when he released a video where he is showing Canelo his explosive uppercuts. Furthermore, Bruce Carrington commented that people are undermining Edgar Berlanga because he has skills that he has not shown in his pro fights. Carrington believes that Canelo-Edgar fight will be better than what people expect.
Edgar has boxing abilities. He has footwork. And I've seen it in a certain level in the amateurs that he has not shown in the pros because, you know, he's just got so many knockouts. You know, we're human, bro. We might get lost in the sauce and, might get knock this guy out. You might get a little punch happy, you know what I'm saying? And then you start becoming a brawler instead of what you naturally are. But from the things that I've seen in the interviews and the things that I've seen him working on, I'm like, yo, if he can really dig deep in his boxing bag, it will be a better fight than people think it's going to be.
Bruce thinks that Berlanga has a great chance to shun all of his naysayers and show them what he has in his bag of skills. Carrington was happy that Edgar got the opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez because so many guys had been wanting that chance but couldn't get it. Boxing promoter Leonard Ellerbe isn't pulling any punches when it comes to his prediction for the September 14th showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. The promoter is betting on a body shot knockout that will send Berlanga crashing to the canvas. While Berlanga has got heart and determination, Ellerbe doubts those will be enough to withstand Canelo's relentless body shots. Berlanga's going to come and give it his all. 6 to 8 rounds. Canelo stopping him with a shot to the body. Robert Garcia believes that Canelo will knock out Berlanga, but he's unsure which round it will happen in. He acknowledged that Berlanga is a good fighter with power and said to let him earn his money, but Garcia ultimately thinks Canelo will take control of the fight and come out on top.
I think Canelo knocks him out.
What round do you think?
I don't know what round.
Berlanga has power.
Berlanga has power and Berlanga has game too. He's, I'm not trying to say he's not good or he doesn't deserve it. He got it and
let him make his money.
Let him make his money. Let him make his huge payday. But I think Canelo wins.
Juan Manuel Marquez predicted that Canelo will definitely knock Berlanga out because he has no experience.
What do you think about Canelo Berlanga? People want Benavidez. Is Berlanga a young fighter,
yes.
Big puncher?
Yes, I know, but the level of opponents is a different. Canelo has experience, Berlanga he doesn't have, and then this is the difference. Mm-hmm. I think the pressure is for Berlanga. I think Berlanga needs experience. Berlanga needs to fight with another great fighters. I think Canelo knock him out.
He knocks out Berlanga?
Yeah. I knock him out in 7 rounds.
Angel Garcia said he can't predict the future, but he believes Edgar Berlanga has a chance to prove himself. He mentioned that Berlanga should stay focused on the fight and be ready for what comes next, instead of worrying about people criticizing or talking trash about him.
I can say he's going to lose. I can't predict the future. But he has a great chance like anybody else does. So you got to give him credit for it. So Berlanga want to be that rock star. He got to be on his A game. His game got to be 100. You can't focus on you can't focus on what they say, she say, none of that. That don't matter. They talked about Jesus, they crucified him and spit on him, and they still forget all of them. So they're always going to talk about you. The thing you got to be focused here. If he's focused here, he has a great chance.
Additionally, pro boxer Xander Zayas, who also happens to be Puerto Rican, shared that he is really happy that Canelo is giving Berlanga the chance to fight him and make history.
It's what we waited, what we worked for, you know, it's what we worked for, and it's something that just makes you happy. It makes you happy. It makes me happy that he's gotten that opportunity. He's been talking about it for so long. He's been, you know.
Zaya said that Berlanga is a true Puerto Rican, dismissing the claims of Oscar de la Hoya against Edgar. Xander added on Berlanga's chances against Canelo. It's a hard fight. I wouldn't say I have him as a favorite, but again, it's boxing. Anything can happen. He's a power puncher, and he could win the fight with a power rivalries punch, or, you know, if he has a flawless night. Zayas claimed that he doesn't see Berlanga winning against Canelo, but he would be really surprised if he manages to pull off a victory. Previously, promoter Oscar de la Hoya took aim at Edgar Berlanga and his usual target, Canelo Alvarez. He kept up his criticism of Berlanga over his claims of being Puerto Rican. De la Hoya mentioned that Berlanga got upset when he said Berlanga isn't Puerto Rican, and even challenged him to show his birth certificate to prove his heritage.
Edgar Berlanga, I called you out for not being Puerto Rican. I simply spoke the facts. So you got embarrassed and posted a 14-year-old photo of me that the world has already seen and memed 1,000,000 times. Bro, why didn't you just post your birth certificate from Puerto Rico? Unless you don't have one. Don't tell me you're another lame who is offended by the truth. Come on, bro.
Berlanga fired back at De La Hoya on the Puerto Rican matter, saying, "I always knew the biggest rivalry in boxing was Puerto Rico versus Mexico. I feel like this is my time to shine, to put my name in the world of boxing and let the world know who I am. People tend to say Berlanga isn't ready for this moment, but I have been ready." Meanwhile, Edgar Berlanga fired back at Canelo Alvarez for his comments on knocking him in 8 rounds. Edgar said that he will break down Canelo and knock him out instead.
We asked Canelo, you know, why Edgar? He goes back to the Puerto Rican-Mexican rivalry, but he's also like, you know what? This kid amped something in me that I've been wanting to do to somebody for a very, very long time. He's talking about breaking you down and then getting rid of you within the 8th.
We're going to do the same to him. We're going to break him down. One thing for sure, I'm Puerto Rican, and you know how that rivalry goes. You know, you never seen a Mexican have compassion for a Puerto Rican or a Puerto Rican have compassion for Mexican. And it's crazy how he could say he has compassion for fighters.
Caleb Plant believes that this is the world of boxing where anything could happen. He said that he doesn't see Edgar Berlanga winning against Canelo, but also expects the unexpected.
So, is there a possibility that you think Edgar can beat Canelo? Or
I mean, I don't see it, but, you know, anything's possible in the sport of boxing. I'm sure we've seen crazier things, so, but no, I don't see it.
Caleb Plant has fought Canelo Alvarez before, and after Edgar Berlanga insulted Plant during their press conference, Plant became furious at him. After Edgar's repeated threats, Caleb added, "I'm just letting y'all know that this is like 3 or 4 times he's threatened to smack me in the face. A couple of y'all. Caleb is getting into it with this person. This is like the 3rd or 4th time he's threatened to smack me in my face. So when I put my foot in his behind, I don't want to hear anybody in any comments talking about, 'Oh, Caleb, why is he?' Step to me and threaten me that you're going to smack me in the face. See how that works out." Trevor McCumbee will be fighting none other than the famous Caleb Plant. He believes that Canelo Alvarez would beat both David Benavidez and Edgar Berlanga. The undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez has been connected to potential fights with both of them when he's expected to return to the ring in September. Super middleweight contender McCumbee shared his thoughts. "I think Canelo knocks him Berlanga out in 6 rounds. I don't think Berlanga has the seasoning and the ring IQ to take that, but I'm happy he is potentially getting that opportunity. If I'm to put my money on the line, it's a bit hard, man." Canelo and Berlanga would be fighting on the same date as the UFC 306 event. So mixed martial artist Sean O'Malley felt confident that UFC 306 will own the night in combat sports. "I am not sure who he is fighting. I know you just told me, but I can't even remember the name even now. I am glad he is not fighting David Benavidez, because that is something I would like to sit down and watch, so I think it works out good." On the other hand, former professional boxer Floyd Mayweather thought that Canelo should be tested against a fighter like Benavidez instead. He said, "If it were up to me, we'd want to see Benavidez face Canelo. It's time for Canelo to stop cherry-picking opponents and take on a real threat like Benavidez." Diego Pacheco gave his prediction for the Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga fight. "I think Canelo will stop him. I think Berlanga will maybe do better the first 3 rounds. I feel like once Canelo has found his rhythm and has found Berlanga's timing, he'll get him out of there." Do you think Berlanga has the skills to shock the world on September 14th? Do you guys expect a knockout by either Canelo or Berlanga? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below and subscribe for more content like this.